And good morning. Very special welcome to all of you for joining us this morning. Michael, good to see you. Mary, good to see you. And Lauren and Ray, again, thank you for those very kind comments. I always appreciate that. You're much too kind. And welcome to Saturday morning new distributor training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International. It's always my privilege to get to host one of these Saturday morning trainings. I want to recognize all of you that have joined us here live, and then also many of you will be directed to the video replay on the YouTube channel, and so welcome to you as well. Kind of give you a little focus on what we're going to be doing today, especially for those of you that are just getting started with us. You may have been directed to this morning's broadcast or the replay to learn how to get off to a fast start with ZJ International. And certainly we want to provide value for the time you commit to being with us this morning. I do want to share this with you. Saturday mornings, we use this time to expand upon the foundational elements of what it is we do in our business. And so if you're really just brand new, you're just getting started, I want you to understand that this morning, if you will, it's like, the second session of your first Saturday morning new distributor training. And if you didn't get the first session, some of this may not make as much sense to you. And so hopefully you've got your journal handy. Actually, I was reaching for the current journal. I've got my journal. I've got it opened up to a section that I was looking at earlier in the week, and I want to share a few things from you. But get your journal out. If you haven't gotten your journal yet, get something. Get a notebook. Get something that's going to be quasi-permanent. I started this process many, many years ago when my journals were these kinds of things. Spiral-bound notebooks. They were really cheap, but I have actually a few years ago discovered a box in the garage with my old journals and some golden stuff in there, things that I've been training on now for decades, I guess. I guess that makes me a pretty old guy. But I encourage you to grab your journal. Okay, the process, especially for those of you that have very high level goals for your career in ZJ, it's a process. It's not an event. It is a process. And you're going to want to be able to go back to the things that you were introduced to early on, because they will become the foundation for your success. And many years ago, I attended my very first multi-level company. It was back in the mid-'80s. I was a cross-country truck driver, desperately looking for a way to create the level of income that was going to be necessary to provide for my son as he was entering school age. And in addition to the income, I was looking for a way to have the time freedom to be able to be with him, to help him become everything that he could, possibly become. And this industry of network marketing has fulfilled on all of those promises, and then some, and much, much more than what I ever would have expected, because 30 plus years ago, I had a frame of reference that was limited to providing for my son's needs. And then over the last 3 decades, things have changed, different needs have come and gone, and the ability to create leveraged residual income, to be able to compress, 1 or 2 or 3 lifetimes of work, the income that comes from, several lifetimes of work, to be able to compress that into just a few years, that has changed everything. And yet I still go back to the foundation. Very first Saturday morning in my very first multi-level company, I showed up for what was called Saturday morning new distributor training. And that hour that I spent learning this business has been the foundation of everything I've done over the last 33 years, both inside of and out of the network marketing profession, and has created an income that is, quite frankly, unbelievable to most people, including myself sometimes, right? I want to pinch myself, make sure I'm not dreaming. But what I encourage you to do is get that initial Saturday morning fast start training underneath your belt. If you're a brand new distributor, write this in your journal. go to www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. That's my name, Fred Holmes, Holmes. youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. When you get there, you're going to see all of the current postings of the the trainings, the presentations, the meetings, and what have you that we do for our organization. And there's a lot of information there, certainly. But look on the navigation bar. They'll see a link that says playlists. There's only one playlist there right now. It's called New Distributor Training. And I really encourage you to take a few minutes and go through those little videos. The first video is called New Distributor Training. It's 30 minutes long, and it is what I learned my very first Saturday morning training in network marketing. It's what everybody needs to know. Everybody should have firmly implanted. It's what we do and how we do it. Okay, 30 minutes. Take the time to get that foundational information. There's another three little, approximately average 10 minutes long. It's another three little videos that collectively would be called the Fast Start Training. Okay, how to create a prospect list, how to develop your personal Zija story, and how to do a 90-day game plan. If you take the time, what's that? 60 minutes. If you take the time to go through those videos, you will know more than 90% of the people who have ever been involved in a network marketing opportunity. Now, I'm not saying it's because I'm so great and that training is all there is. Certainly that's not the case. What I am sharing with you is you will know what I knew when I started Zija International. Okay, this is something that most people really don't get. And I think it comes from the fact that, in our profession, and in particular in Zija International, there are people that are just, killing it. They're, the income stories, the changes in people's lives, both from, a health perspective, but here today we're talking about from a business perspective, are unbelievable. People don't get this. It's not that hard to, well, let me change that. It's not that complicated. Okay, anything that you do of significance is going to take effort. Okay, so don't ever buy the story when somebody says, "Oh, this is easy." Hey, if it was easy, everybody do it, right? I mean, everybody would want to, drive my car, go with me on vacation, fly first class, have a real estate portfolio, whatever. Everybody do it if it was easy. It takes work. Just like anything else, just like what you do every single day of the week, get up and go to your job, right? But it is simple. And if you follow a simple system, and if you do it consistently on an ongoing basis, and you do it long enough, you're going to achieve the results that you've seen of other people in this company and within the industry. And it will, key little phrase, I can't tell you what you're going to get, okay? But I can tell you what we will give you, and the rest is going to be up to you. So it only kind of makes sense. If you want what the successful people have, then do what the successful people have done. That's kind of, easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy, right? It makes sense. And so take the time to review those little videos. And for those of you that have been in for a while, it's probably a good idea to do it again. I think one of the things that most people don't recognize, you don't hit a certain level of success and stop learning. I recommend for a lot of people several different things, like make Jim Rohn's hour-long presentation on how to build your network marketing distributorship. You can find it on YouTube. It's an audio recording Jim did many years ago. I recommend people listen to that. What most people don't recognize is I listen to that. I mean, I've been teaching those principles for decades, and I still listen to that particular recording at least once a month. You can't stop learning, and you can't learn something too well. And so if you haven't recently reviewed those and you've been in for a while, might be a good idea to do so. You can only teach what you know. You can't teach something you don't know, something that you've not mastered. And so I encourage you to do that. Saturday mornings, and it's not me, there'll be more and more people conducting Saturday morning trainings as our leadership engages in this process. And so what we like to use this for is to augment, to advance that foundational or fundamental information. And one of the things that's occurred to me here recently, and it's because I'm, frankly, today more actively engaged in terms of intensity in building the Zija business than I have been in quite some time, and has everything to do with where we are at in the growth curve of Zija. There's the analogy is, with people, people go through different stages of growth. You're born and you're an infant, and then you go to toddler, and then you go to grammar school, and then adolescence, and then eventually, adulthood, maturity. Companies go through those same kind of evolutionary changes too. We are seeing Zija moving from childhood into adolescence, a period of time of, exponential growth, incredible new adventures. What is going to happen over the next 3 years with Zija, you have no idea of the advancements that are going to take place. I do, to a certain extent, because I was with a company that went from, literally, 10 million a month in sales, to 50 million a month in sales. I was with a company that went from 100 million a year to $500 million a year in 3 years. I already have a good frame of reference for what is about to happen with Zija. And you want to know what to do. Look at what the people that are at the top are doing, okay? Not what they're saying. This is really important. There's a big difference. Don't pay so much attention to what people say. Pay attention to what they're doing. And this should be a clue, especially for those of you that are engaged in the Zija Nation. Look at what people like Reed Nelson are doing, David Moses is doing, Amy McKenzie, Pat Anderson, and even myself, to the extent that I have the capacity to do. Look at what the top leadership is doing, not what they're saying, what they're doing. And that'll give you a clue to what you should be doing. And so hopefully that'll help give you a little foundation for today. One of the things that's happened here is as I've been more actively engaged with small group trainings, I'm working with several different groups right now, both within my organization and outside of my organization. One of the things that I've found is I keep going more and more and more back to the information, the knowledge, the experiences that led up to where I am in Zija. And I wanted to share a little bit of that with you folks today. So hopefully you've got your notes out. I'm going to just share a few things that have kind of popped up, especially in this last, week to 2 weeks. One of the things that's really important to understand, and this is critical to every single one of you, whether you're, whether you are a leader, and I'm going to take a quick look here and look at the people that are attending here. I'm seeing some of the who's who of the organization here. Got Amy McKenzie on here. Wow, I got somebody on here that isn't in the business yet, but I know who you are. And geez, I hope I do a good job. But one of the things that you're going to find, all right, and this is kind of something you need to know, the good and the bad, all right. 80% of what you're going to experience in Zija, you're going to really like. Okay, you're going to really like the products. You're going to really like the income that comes from this. You're going to really like the camaraderie, the relationships, the personal development. 80% of what you're going to experience here, you're going to really like. 15% of it's going to be just okay. What's the just okay part? Some of the stuff you got to do, right? You got to do it. It's okay. I'm not going to tell you every single Saturday morning I'm excited to jump on the webinar, or every single Thursday night I'm excited to do the biz talks. Sometimes, it's stuff you like. It's maybe not part of the 80%, right? having to do some of the things that are necessary to maintain your business. Be real clear on this. 5%, you're not going to like at all. Okay. 5% of what you're going to experience in ZG, you're not going to like, shipping problems, whatever. Okay. Whatever, my new distributor didn't get their order as quickly as they thought they should. Always going to be something like that. Here's what you need to understand. If you want to be successful, if you want to go to the top, if you want to fulfill on the commitments and the promises that you've made to your family and your loved ones, because for many of us, that's the reason we're here. It's not to make a lot of money. It's not, the natural health revolution. It's because we've made commitments and promises to the people we care about and we love, and we need to fulfill on those promises. You got to focus on the 80%. Okay, that's where your focus needs to be. You got to do the 15%, the stuff that's just okay. The 5% that you don't like, you just got to put it out of your mind. All right, what you think about, you will bring about. It's a fundamental personal development and success skill set that when you get this, it will change everything. Put it in your notes. I encourage you to read a book. It's a fairly short read. The title of the book is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Okay, this embodies what I'm talking about. What you think about, you will bring about. If you're always thinking about what could go wrong, guess what happens? Things go wrong. If you're always thinking about what's the best thing that could happen, then good things happen. Does that mean bad things don't happen? No, it doesn't mean bad things don't happen. But you've prepared yourself for those things in advance. Okay, 80% of what you're going to experience in ZJ, you're really, really going to like. You're going to love it. I love the relationships with people. I love the friends that I've developed. I love seeing people excited about their future. 15% of what we do, it's going to just be okay. It's the stuff that, maybe doesn't, light your fire, but you just got to do it. Okay, 5% you're not going to like. If you focus on the 5%, you're going to miss the 95%. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if you use that analogy, 95% of the marriages that end in divorce is because people focused on the 5% of the negative, right? They didn't focus on the 80% that they loved and the 15% that you just got to do. Okay, you may not like it, but you got to do it. It's just what you have to do. So make sure your priorities are in alignment. One of the things that I'm really focused on today, this concept, and it has to do with the fact that I'm spending a lot of my time working with small to medium-sized groups of people. Everybody wants the information. Okay? However, information is only metabolized by application. See, it's why it's so hard for a college graduate to get a decent job, because the people that have been doing the deal, the employers, the people hiring, they already understand. Information in and of itself does not mean you can do the deal. Okay, information is metabolized through application. Now, give you an example, and metabolize, that's a term that's really important to understand. You can have great food, okay? You can have extremely healthy, organic grown, meats and, I call them happy cows, right? Grass-fed, free-range, whatever, organic vegetables. You can have the best nutrition available, put it in front of somebody. If they don't eat it, they get nothing. Okay, keep this in mind when you're talking to somebody that really needs our product, but they don't buy it. You can't help people that aren't going to help themselves. Okay, now, taking that food and giving and ingesting that food, there's no value to it if it's not metabolized. Your body has to utilize that food. In our business, and make no mistake about it, a big component of our business is not our business, it's us, our personal development. The only way to metabolize, to consume, and be able to utilize the information that we desire and that we're receiving is through application. And this is incredibly important to understand, because I've met a lot of people with incredible potential in our business. And they have been to every training. They've, jumped on an airplane and flown to, they flew to Las Vegas to learn about the product this past weekend. They attend all of the big local meetings and the conventions, and they're on the Saturday morning trainings and all that stuff. They're getting information, but they don't apply it. They don't do it. What's really interesting is it doesn't take a lot of information to be metabolized to create results. This is what's very interesting. We already know you can live off of a relatively small number of calories and actually do very, very well. The best I feel is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which happen to correspond with gym days, because I don't eat a lot of food during those days. I do predominantly Zija leading up to the gym. Isn't that interesting? And, if you look at the food that we eat here, I spend a fortune on food here just for me and mom, right? We have really, really good food. So how do you get to the next level? That's always a question people ask. How do you get to the next level? Well, I'm in Zija, I've gotten a few customers. I got 1 or 2 distributors, and they're not doing that much. I want to go to the next level. How do you get to the next level? If you get this in your notes right now, this will change your life in the next 90 days. Okay, and the next 90 days are incredibly, incredibly important. What you do in the next 90 days with Zija could literally double, triple, quadruple, five-tuple, whatever five times is, over the next 3 years. I mean, people don't get this. The next 90 days are the most critical 90 days in the next 3 years of Zija. Zija will do more business in the next 36 months than it's done in the first 13 years combined. The next 90 days are the most critical 90 days in your Zija career. Okay? That's why I have such a sense of urgency. That's why I got bags underneath my eyes, because I am taking advantage of every single moment right now. Now, how do you get to the next level? First of all, be aware. Most people are only a few degrees, right or left of center in terms of their business. Okay, if you're committed to doing Zija, assuming that you've gotten your new distributor training, you understand conceptually what it is we do, how to build a 90-day story, how to get off to a fast start. Most people are only a few degrees off of the direct path. Here's what you need to understand. If you're waiting for a new product, waiting for the compensation plan change, waiting for, here's the one I really like. How come we don't have celebrities endorsing our products? Whatever it is that you're waiting for, that you're expecting is going to make all the big difference, folks, that's not it. That is never going to take you to the next level. The new product introduction isn't going to take you to the next level. The new, and I'm going to tell you, okay, I got to be careful how I say this because I can't say it. At the convention in October 4, 5, and 6, October 4, 5, and 6, there's going to be an announcement that is going to dramatically change the complexion of Zija's growth. It's going to throw us into hyper growth. That is not going to make a difference to you. That will not take you to the next level. No new product, no new comp plan, no new announcement, endorsement, whatever. It's going to take you to the next level. Okay? It's going to take the people that are engaged to the next level. You have to be engaged. And if you understand this one little item, it will change everything for you. How do you take yourself to the next level? Really simple. You need to know. You need to know 2 things that you need to start doing today. What are those 2 things? Okay, it's going to depend upon, where you are, what you're doing, what your stage of development of your business is, and so on. But you need to identify, you need to know 2 things that you need to start doing today. You need to know 2 things that you need to stop doing today. And finally, you need to know 2 things that you should keep on doing every day. 2 things to start doing, 2 things to stop doing, and 2 things to keep on doing. Now, how do you identify what that is? And it's going to be a little bit different for every single person, okay? The 2 things that I need to start doing every day, the 2 things I need to stop doing every day, and the 2 things that I need to keep on doing every day are going to be entirely different than what yours are, Anthea, or what yours are, Danielle. Danielle, we need to talk here. I want to find out what you're doing, sweetie, because you got some stuff going on. Christine, okay, they're going to be different than what Christine's 2 things are. And Candace Smiley, keep your eyes on Candace Smiley. Okay, if you want to, if you want to have what others have, do what they're doing. Watch what Candace Smiley's doing. Watch what Kevin Steele's doing. Man, I'm going to tell you what, I've spent some time with Kevin here recently. That young man has got it going on. Keep your eyes on him. He will be a diamond in Egypt. Now, everybody's 2 things are going to be different, but you need to identify what those things are. And understand how I phrase this. You need to know 2 things to start doing every day, 2 things to stop doing, and 2 things to keep on doing. And if you have some tenure in the business, if you've been around a little while, if you've been investing in your personal development, if you've been connected to the your upline leadership in the organization, you probably have a good feel for that. If you don't, if you're not actively engaged, or you're relatively new to the industry, if you're not directly involved, engaged on a regular basis with your successful upline, you may need some help in identifying these things. But if you do this, if you can identify 2 things in those 3 categories, and you implement that action plan, and you focus on the next 90 days, I am here to tell you, first of all, it will be amazing what will happen with you in the next 3 years in Egypt. Number 2, you will not believe what's going to happen to you in the next 3 years in Egypt. Number 3, none of your friends and family are going to believe it either. They're just going to be absolutely amazed. Now, how do I know that? Because I did that. From the day I started in Zija, that first 36 months changed everything. And I already had a really good life. That next 36 months changed everything. And what happened in that 36 months with Zija compared to what's going to happen in the next 36 months with Zija, there is no comparison. Okay, it's like the difference between a 1968 Yugo and my V10 M6. Okay, they're both cars, they both got engines, they both got 4 wheels. There is no comparison. All right, and so what I'm hoping you're taking away from this morning are some of the the concepts, the mindset, the awareness that one will need to be highly successful in this arena of home-based business, but most importantly, in particular with Zija. Okay, recognize that 80% of what we do, you're really going to like. Okay, 15%, you're just going to have to do it. And the 5% that you're not happy about, that you don't like, you need to ignore it. Move past it. It's just going to kill your business. If you want to be ready, if you want to go to the next level, Don't wait for the deal that's going to make it happen. Okay, it's not, it's not one new product, it's not one comp plan change, it's not one special event that will change everything. Everything changes relative to you, based on you. Identify 2 things that you need to start doing today, and start doing them today. Identify 2 things you need to stop doing every day, and then identify the 2 things that you should continue to do on a daily basis. And it's pretty easy to help, guide you in that direction. The 2 things that you need to start doing every day are the things that are going to increase your business. Share the product, share the opportunity. Commit to a daily method of operation, and daily, evaluate your performance at the end of the day. What are those 2 things for you? 2 things you need to stop doing. This is real simple. It's non-productive behavior. How many hours do you spend in front of the TV? How many hours do you spend, I was about to use a game, what is it? I don't even know these games. I don't do it. Angry Birds. There we go. How many hours a day are you spending with Angry Birds? Is that still something people do? Watching Game of Thrones. Okay. How many hours a week are you spending watching, what was that other one? There was another TV show that was like, seriously, you got time to watch that garbage? I was about to say crap, but I can't say that on camera. 2 things that you need to stop doing. And then finally, 2 things that you need to continue to do every single day. What are those 2 things? The things that are creating productivity in your business. Okay? So that's what I wanted to share this morning. I'm going to look here at the little chat box. I want to use this time here for the balance of the time we have to answer any questions that you might have. If you have no questions, that's fine. We'll call it an early day. But if you have questions, I'd like to be able to help a little bit. And let's see, I'm going to go over here and let's see what we've been hearing. Let's see. Good morning from California. Belinda, good morning to you. Oh, Belinda, good to see you, sweetie. Been wanting to catch up with you as well. And let's see. I don't know who G5 is. Good morning, Fred. Thanks. Oh, I got my Natural Health Revolution t-shirt on today. I wanted to, I probably should have the Z to Love t-shirt. Let's see here. Hall Assistant, Golden Paper, good morning. Well, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that comment from you. It's like a map. Just gonna have to open, look at the get a plan, get in, start the car drive. Wow, there you go. Hey, the simple stuff. Get a plan. Lauren did this one. It's like a map. Just because you open it up and look at it doesn't mean you're going to get there. There you go. Yeah, how many people, dream about going to the islands? Okay, but that's all they're ever going to do. What you need to be able to do is get the plan, Zija, get in, get trained, get going, start the car and drive. Just do the deal. Let's see here. Good morning, Candace. Wow. I just got from Candace Smiley, she said, this is epic. Candace, you were actually one of the people I was thinking about when I dove back into, this is like, let's find out here. Where are we at here? This journal actually goes back 5 years. 5 years with this one. It was an opportunity I had to, I flew out to Dallas, Texas for a long weekend to meet with Larry Thompson. If you don't know who Larry Thompson is, then you don't know who, frankly, one of the top network marketing trainers in history is. Man's been in, at that time, he'd been in multi-level for 45 years, so it's now been over 50 years. It's go time. Yeah, let me talk about that real quick. I've referenced that the next 90 days are the most important 90 days. There's a reason for that. Okay, we're approximately 90 days out of convention. You will materially impact 2019, your ZEJA 2019 income based entirely upon how many people, personal to you, personal enrollees, or people that you might have enrolled somebody at 3 or 4 levels down that person that wants to do it came in. How many people you're personally working with that are going to be in attendance at the convention. For others that have more, established organizations, you will materially impact your 2019 paycheck based upon how many of the people in your organization are at the convention. That should be your number one priority. It's not possible to have the same impact of the announcements and the information and the training from the convention by hearing about it versus being there. That is the number one priority. And so with that, quite frankly, you have 90 days. Now, brand new person, getting started today, you could engage 100% intensity with maybe 5% of your available time. Okay, many people join ZEJA, and it's a struggle to put in that 8 or 10 hours a week to your business. That extra 60 minutes, 90 minutes a day of focused activity in your ZEJA business. We get that. Most of us started part-time, right? But you want to engage in the time that's available to you with 100% intensity. And even if that's all you can do, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours here and there throughout the day in your ZEJA business, that is more than ample time to create a 90-day success story, create momentum in your business, and have that parlayed into the 2018 convention. When my very first ZEJA convention, I attended my first ZEJA convention in October of 2008. There were 6 people in my organization that participated, that came to convention with me. 5 of them are today diamonds or above. One of those people was Pat Anderson, who today is a diamond elite. I can't even tell you how much money she's making. I mean, Pat's going to surpass my income this year big time, okay? Because she is getting this. She sees what's about to happen. The next 90 days can set up everything that's going to happen at the convention for you. The convention will set up the next 90 days, the last quarter of the year. And if you focus on the next 90 days leading up to convention, the 90 days following convention, it's impossible for you not to hit 2019 with full-blown momentum in your organization. And just I had this written down somewhere and it disappeared on my desk. For those of you that aren't yet registered for convention, today is your last day to take advantage of the reduced pricing on the convention tickets. The convention tickets are $249, $250. Okay, that's the price they go to tomorrow, July 1st. Today they are still discounted at $199. You can go online, ZEJAevents.com. Get registered today. Get the ticket. Tomorrow it's going to add another $50 to your overhead to get to convention. Shift out of park. I like that. Let's see. Good morning, sir. It's go time. Thank you to do this reminder. It's a single thing we could do that would change the results we have. Very good. I'm looking for questions. Julie Chase from Sherwood. Oh, hey, Julie, good to see you. You can go into your, you can actually get the Zoom app and change how you log in so we can see your name. Thank you for sharing who G5 is. I figured you were twice as good as G2 or G3. Decide and act. Share in the morning. Okay, what is the single thing we could do that would change the results we have? What is the single thing we could do? That's a great question, Candace. What is the single thing that we could do that would change the results we have? Now, there's a number of ways to answer that. Thank you for that question, Candace. Number of ways to answer that. Okay, you can get better at what you do. You can become more effective, more efficient. Learn how to tell your story more effectively and more efficiently. Learn how to improve your invitation. How to invite people to look at the product or look at the opportunity. There's a number of things you could do to improve. However, for most people, let me tell you, while it is important to become better at sharing your story, become better at the third-party validation calls. We recently talked on one day, we talked about third-party calling protocol, how to introduce your upline, how to introduce your prospect, what to do on a third-party validation call, more effective invitation. We've talked about that on a recent. There's many different things that you can do that will help give you to improve, to change the results that you have. But if there was one single thing that you could do more of it. Do more. See, Jim Rohn in his hour-long dissertation on how to build your network marketing distributorship, he talks about this concept. It's called law of averages. There's an acronym, SINALOA, SINOLAO. And you'll have to double check the spelling on that. Sinaloa is the name of a state in central Mexico, but it's also an acronym, okay, that is probably the concept, epitomizes the concept I want to share. Sinaloa, safety in numbers, law of averages. Now let's say your law of averages is 1 in 10, okay? You invite 10 people to hear about the product, 10 people to hear about the opportunity. Maybe your law of averages is 1. One person, you talk to 10, 1 will buy the product. You talk to 10, 1 will join the business. And I got to tell you, that's probably the average person's starting point, okay? 1 in 10. The concept of safety in numbers, law of averages, is that whatever your law of averages is, you can make up for or advance it with safety in numbers. If you want to have 1 distributor this cycle, talk to 10, if that's your law of averages. What if your law of averages, you got to talk to 20? Well, then talk to 20. Okay, if you want to have 2 customers this cycle, this week, if your law of averages, you got to talk to 10 people to get 1 on the product, then talk to 10 people. Safety in numbers. If you need to have 1 this week, talk to 10 people, if that's your law of averages. Probably for most people, regardless of, and that's implementing all these other, certainly improve your ability to share your story, improve your ability to share the company story, the product story, the stories of others, improve on how to invite people to look, improve on your consistency of activity, improve on your daily method of operation. And that more involves being consistent doing the things that you set out to do each day. But if there was one single, kind of umbrella thing, do more. If you're not really good, then you got to do more than average. If your law of averages is what the average person is, then you need to do more of that and you'll be above average. If I talk to 10 people about the product, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get 5 of those people on the product. Okay? I am. Just because I've done enough of it. I'm not saying I'm good. Pat Anderson, Amy McKenzie, they talk to 10 people about the product. They're going to get 9 or 10 people to use the product. That's because they're that good. I'm not that good. But I'm good enough. I've done enough of it. My law of averages for customers is, 1 and 2. Now, how do you compete with me? If you want 1, talk to 10. You want to beat me? Talk to 20, and you'll beat me, because I'll talk to, 1, I'll get, or 2, I'll get 1, right? Talk to 20, you'll get 2, and you'll beat me. Same thing with the opportunity. So that's a great question, Candace. I'm hoping that I'm answering that effectively for you. Do more. Numbers make up for everything. Lack of skill, lack of talent, lack of ability, lack of contacts, lack of whatever. You can make up in numbers every single thing that you lack. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Concept to mentor hesitant enrollee to move forward. Key concept to mentor a hesitant enrollee to move forward with the system. I'm going to try and paraphrase that. How do I get you're using great language, Lauren, but I'm going to paraphrase that. How do I get a new person to do what I want them to do? Okay. Lauren's asking, has great phraseology, and I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it because I use it, as I always say, phraseology. Lauren's asking, give me a key concept, a key thought that would help me mentor, encourage, support a hesitant enrollee, new distributor, to move forward in doing the system. The system, invitation, presentation, validation. That's, a la Fred Holmes' system. Some of you have heard peak, pass, plug. Okay, the system. How do I encourage a new distributor to want to follow the system? And Lauren, I'm paraphrasing. I'm hoping I'm getting the essence of your question. Write this in your notes, folks, because you're going to have this one for as long as you're in the business. Okay. How do I get my new customer to want to use the product consistently, correctly on a daily basis? How do I get my new distributor to follow the system? How do I get my new distributor to do third-party validation calls? They're great at doing the invitation, they do the presentation, but they never put an upline on the phone. How do I get people to do what I want them to do? Write this in your notes. Ready? 2 words. You can't. You can't get people to do what you want them to do. So give up on that. It's never going to happen. So not in our business, okay? If you're an employer and you've got an employee, you can get them to do what you want to do. It's called my way or the highway. And I've been in those environments, okay, where I was the boss. And it's real simple. I'll try and encourage you to find a way that it makes sense to you, but here's the bottom line. If I'm the boss and you're the employee, you do it my way. You don't want to do it my way? I got somebody else that wants your job, okay? In our business, everybody's an independent distributor. We are all in business for ourselves. We can't make people do what we want to do. There's no way we can do that. So the answer to the question is, how do you do that? You can't. But I've got more. Okay? If you internalize this, give me 1 second, I'll be right back with you. My apologies, folks. Let me collect my thoughts here. You can't get people to do what you want them to do. Here's the best you can hope for, is that people want to do what you want them to do. You'll never get them to do what you want them to do. The very best you can hope for is for them to want to do what you want them to do. And how do you do that? This is the best part. Testimonials. Yours and others. The customer that's not compliant, they're not using the product the way you want. Don't try to get them to do their ZJA first thing in the morning with 16 ounces of water. Don't try to get them to do the premium tea every other night without fail. Don't try to get them to do these things. Share the testimonials of others that are doing those things and the great results they're getting. Don't try to get your distributor to want to follow the system. Share the stories of others that are following the system and the great results they're getting. The best you can hope for is that your customer, your distributor, what have you, wants to do what you want them to do. And the only effective way to do that is to share the stories of others that are getting the positive results. So that was a great question. I hope that helped you. Got just a couple of moments left. Great word phraseology. Yeah, there's a lot of words I got that are really great that nobody's ever heard of before. Becoming employee training a strong leader. It's just being confident in employee training as a strong leader. That's kind of how it is, Fred. They come from what kind of idea, and the idea takes faith because they. Now you're understanding one of the challenges I've always had is, part of my special child is I'm not a great reader. I'm gonna have to, Belinda. I'm gonna have to get back with you. It's like the song "Walk This Way," or "Walk Like an Egyptian." I'm sorry. Yeah. My second cocktail this morning, folks. I'll admit it. It's my Super Mix and Limitless is my second drink of the day, second cocktail of the day. Connect with community, share stories, not opinions. Everyone has one of those. Oh yeah, Danielle, very good. That's my favorite line. Opinions are like eyeballs. Eyeballs. Everybody's got a couple of them, right? All right, very good. Well, listen, folks, we're almost at the top of the hour. That's my allotted time. This was kind of fun. I like those questions. That was really good, and it keeps me sharp. All right, it helps me stay on top of what matters most. It's only important to do the important things. It's not important to do anything else. And maybe in closing, there's one other thing I'll share with you, and then we'll call it a day here. Two of the most important things that I've learned about life, I learned 33 years ago from my 5-year-old son. You may want to jot this down in your notes because it's been quite meaningful to me. One of the things my son taught me is that there is more than one way to do a thing. Okay, more than one way to do a thing. That was very meaningful to me because for me, there was the right way and the wrong way. There was one way that was right and everything else was wrong. And he taught me that there's actually, in most cases, more than one way to do a thing correctly. And I say that because several times in this past week I've had people say, slow down, I want to hear what what would you say to a person that says this? How would you approach somebody that does that? Folks, you don't really want to know what I would say, what I would do, because those are techniques. And I really try to avoid that. Techniques are not duplicatable by the masses. If there's a key to success in network marketing is duplication by the masses. Okay, don't have a system that's so rigid it can't be duplicated by everybody. So I much prefer to teach concepts, because concepts can be mastered by everybody, but a particular technique cannot. So, I have a different approach to talking to people than Pat Anderson, than Candace Smiley, than everybody has it's their personality. What you want to do is focus on the concept: invitation, presentation, validation, share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. Those concepts is what you want to focus on. So the first thing my son taught me was there's more than one right way to do a thing. The second thing he taught me, and this has been incredibly powerful, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't wait until you're perfect. Don't wait until you can, do what I do, or do it just like Pat Anderson, or, do it just like, Lauren, or do it just like, whoever. All right. Don't wait, because you'll never do it just like them. They're different. Okay. Don't wait until you're perfect. Don't wait until you're the best. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. Don't wait until you've got the exact right words to say to talk to somebody about the product. First thing, there is no perfect. Okay? Every person is going to be a little bit different. You don't know. You got to just be you, be authentic, be who you are. If you genuinely care more about somebody's results on the product than you care about the money you're going to make, if you genuinely care more about your new distributor's paycheck than you care about your own, that's the correct philosophy. Caring more about others' results is going to make you a fortune. When your motivation moves from internal to external, then you watch what happens. The money will track you down like a bloodhound. You cannot escape it. There is no perfect words. There's no perfect sentence. There's no perfect line that'll work for everybody. It's just what you do. And so there's more than one right way to do a thing. And secondly, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. You just have to get a few customers. You just have to get a few distributors, and you have to teach a few of them how to get a few customers, a few distributors, and really just keep doing it over and over and over again. That's it. I'd like to tell you there's magic somewhere along the lines. There's a secret. Only the $1 million earners know this secret, and we're not telling you. No, none of that's there. So anyway, we've hit the top of the hour. That's my allotted time. I'll look through the notes here. If you, wow, show up and believe in yourself. Belinda, you're going to make a fortune. Show up, believe in yourself. That's probably the, 80% of the deal is showing up. Okay, just show up. You're already 80% of the way. I like that. Thank you very much. All right, we're out of here, folks. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, just a couple of quick upcoming announcements. We're starting. Remember, reach out to your team. Tell them they need to be at the convention. Real simple. Everybody at the convention is not making a six-figure income, but everybody who's making a six-figure income is going to be at the convention. So where do you want to be? Save them $50, get them signed up today. This upcoming week, we're going to have Millionaires in Training, Facebook Live with David, Tuesday evening, clubmoringa.com, www.clubmoringa.com. Pat Anderson will be hosting a virtual, public business presentation. Wednesday night, same thing, www.moringa.com. She'll be doing the product focus, Health Talks with Pat. The following Thursday, I'll be doing Biz Talks with Fred. Saturday morning training again. We're going to have a special guest on Saturday morning training next week, so you're going to want to tune in for that. If you haven't done so already, I encourage you, go to my website, fredholmes.com, sign up for the newsletter. That way you can get, the links and that sort of thing to the team events. What else? In 10 days, actually 10 days and a wake up, I will be going to my temporary office. I'm going to continue to be doing the Zija business. You'll still be able to reach me. Hours are going to adjust a little bit. I will be a lot more tan than I am today, but I will be relocating for a couple of weeks to the temporary Zija office. A little bit better view. But I'm still going to be available. And again, text me, reach out, whatever. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Fred Holmes, or youtube.com/Fred Holmes Eja. If you subscribe to the channel, then you're going to get notified instantly when the videos are uploaded and that sort of thing. Kind of scared me the other night. I uploaded a video Thursday night and it was really late. My phone went bing, notified me I just uploaded. It said, Fred Holmes has uploaded a video. Thank you. All right, I'm done, folks. Have a great rest of your weekend. Looking forward to working with all of you, seeing you in 90 days at the convention. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you. Bye-bye.